Priests, robed in white, move like specters through colonnaded halls. Their footsteps are soft, almost soundless, on the worn stone floors. A million stars glitter in its depths, turning the water into a celestial map. The temple spires, silhouetted against the sky, seem to reach for the heavens, their reflections plunging deep into this liquid universe. It's a sight that stills the mind and opens the heart, a connection between the earthly and the divine. From hidden sanctuaries, a fragrant smoke begins to drift. It's the scent of sandalwood, frankincense, and myrrh, burning on charcoal embers in ornate censers. The smoke curls and rises, carrying prayers and offerings to the unseen realms. It fills the air with a perfume that is both grounding and transcendent, a scent that has come to define holiness in this place. It's a gentle invitation to let go of the day's worries and sink into a state of spiritual calm. There is no rush here. Every movement is deliberate, every moment savored. The pacing is slow, meditative, allowing you to fully absorb the tranquility of the scene. This is a sanctuary not just of stone and water, but of time itself, a place where the frantic pace of the outside world fades away, replaced by the steady, peaceful rhythm of the night. As we continue our journey through these hallowed grounds, let this feeling of peace settle over you. The priests now gather around a central altar, a massive slab of polished granite that feels cool to the touch. Upon it are arranged offerings, fresh flowers, their petals still holding the last warmth of the sun, bowls of pure water, glistening like liquid silver, and small lamps, their flames flickering and casting a warm golden glow on the faces of the devout. The chief priest begins a chant, his voice low and resonant, a sound that seems to vibrate through the very stones of the temple. The others join in, their voices weaving together in a complex harmony that is both beautiful and deeply moving. This isn't a performance for an audience. It is a conversation with the universe. They honor the gods and goddesses who are believed to reside within these walls, but they also honor the divine spark within every living thing. As you listen, you might not understand the ancient words, but you can feel their power, their intention. It's a language the soul understands, a melody that soothes and uplifts. We move away from the central ceremony, down a long, dark corridor. The only light comes from narrow slits in the stone walls, revealing glimpses of the star-dusted sky. The air here is cooler, smelling of damp earth and age. The walls are covered in carvings, telling stories of epic battles, divine love, and profound wisdom. Running your hand along the stone, you can feel the indentations, the life and effort that went into creating each figure, each symbol. These are not just decorations. They are scriptures written in stone, a library for those who know how to read it. At the end of the corridor, we emerge into a smaller, more intimate courtyard. This is the Garden of Reflection. A single, ancient banyan tree stands in the center, its aerial roots hanging down like a curtain. It's said that sages have meditated under this very tree for generations, seeking enlightenment. The ground is covered in soft, green moss, and a small stream trickles nearby, its gentle babbling the only sound. It's a place for personal contemplation, for quiet introspection. Here, under the boughs of the ancient tree, you can sit and simply be. You can watch the moonlight filter through the leaves, creating shifting patterns on the ground. You can listen to the stream and to the silence. This is where you can let go of your thoughts, your plans, your identity, and just exist as part of this serene, living tableau. The peace is so profound, it feels as if you could sit here forever, suspended between worlds. The night deepens. The moon climbs higher, now directly overhead. Its light no longer casting long shadows, but illuminating everything in a bright, ethereal glow. The rituals are reaching their peak. The sound of bells, clear and high, now joins the chanting. Each chime seems to cleanse the air, to resonate with a higher frequency. The priests move in a slow, choreographed dance, their movements precise and graceful, a physical expression of their devotion. The incense smoke is thicker now, swirling in the gentle breeze, creating a mystical haze that blurs the edges of the world. It feels as if the veil between our reality and the spiritual realm is at its thinnest. In this moment, anything seems possible. Miracles feel real. The presence of something greater, something benevolent and wise, is almost palpable. You can feel it on your skin, in the air you breathe, in the beat of your own heart. This nightly ceremony is not about grand pronouncements or dramatic events. It is about maintenance. It is the spiritual upkeep of the world, a nightly act of rebalancing, of reconsecrating the planet. The priests believe that through these rituals, they are helping to maintain cosmic order, to hold back the forces of chaos and darkness, and to ensure that the sun will rise again in the morning. They are guardians of the light, tending to the sacred flame of life itself. As we stand here, bearing witness, we too become part of this ritual. Our presence, our attention, our quiet reverence, we are participants in this ancient tradition of keeping watch through the night. It connects us to a lineage of seekers, of mystics, of ordinary people who have come to places like this for thousands of years, looking for answers, for solace, for a connection to the divine. The final bell tolls, its sound echoing through the temple complex and fading into the night. The chanting subsides, replaced once more by the profound silence. The rituals are complete. The priests bow one last time to the altar before quietly dispersing, melting back into the shadows from which they came. Their work is done, for now. The flames of the oil lamps flicker and die out, one by one, leaving only the moonlight to illuminate the scene. The smoke from the incense thins, its fragrance lingering in the air like a sweet memory. A sense of deep peace and fulfillment settles over the temple. The world feels clean, refreshed, and at peace. We begin our slow walk back towards the entrance, our own steps now quiet and measured. You can access it anytime you wish, simply by closing your eyes, breathing deeply, and recalling the image of the moon over the great temples. I hope it brought you a measure of peace and wonder. If you enjoyed this experience, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more moments of tranquility. His word is law, his armies unstoppable, his wealth beyond measure. But tonight, he is none of those things. Tonight, he is just a man, finally at rest. The air here is still, thick, with the scent of aged cedar wood and night-blooming jasmine that drifts in from the royal gardens. They part just enough to allow a single soft sliver of moonlight to paint a silver line across the floor, a gentle intrusion into this sacred quiet. They flicker gently, their light dancing over walls, adorned with tapestries that tell stories of ancient heroes and forgotten gods. These are not tales of conquest, but of peace and wisdom. The light catches the intricate details of a low table, where a half-finished game of Go sits, the smooth black and white stones waiting for a move that will not come until morning. A single cup of cooled tea rests beside it, its fragrant steam long since vanished. Outside the immense lacquered doors, 2 imperial guards stand like statues, their armor gleaming faintly in the corridor's dim light. They are the most elite warriors in the Empire, sworn to protect their ruler with their lives. Yet they stand in absolute silence, their breathing measured, their presence more a symbol of devotion than a defense. They know that no harm can befall him here. The greatest battles he fights are not on the fields of war, but within his own mind. And for tonight there is a truce. The moon, full and serene, hangs in the dark velvet sky, a silent witness. Here, in this cocoon of tranquility, the weight of the world begins to lift. The clamor of advisors, the rustle of war maps, the endless petitions and decrees fade into a distant murmur, like the memory of a far-off storm. He lies on a bed made not for a king, but for a tired man. It's simple, crafted from dark wood and covered in soft, unadorned linens. He doesn't wear his crown or his ceremonial robes. Instead, he is draped in simple, loose-fitting cotton. His breathing is slow and deep, a steady rhythm that fills the silence. The lines of worry that are etched onto his brow during the day have softened. The tension in his jaw has released. The hands that have signed death warrants and treaties now lie open and relaxed at his sides. For in this room, he is not the emperor, and has finally, mercifully, been allowed to set it down. Here, sleep is not a weakness, but a sanctuary. It is the one kingdom he does not have to conquer, the one realm that asks nothing of him. And as the city he built sleeps under the watchful eye of the moon, its ruler finally joins it in a moment of profound and well-earned peace. This is the story of rest, not just the absence of work, but the active pursuit of tranquility. In a world that constantly demands more from us, more effort, more time, more energy, we've forgotten the immense power of simply stopping. We see rest as a luxury, or worse, a sign of laziness. But what if rest is actually our greatest source of strength? Think about the emperor. His power isn't just in his armies or his wealth. It's in his ability to make clear, wise decisions. And where does that clarity come from? It comes from these stolen moments of peace. It's born in the silence, in the quiet chambers of his own mind when the world is shut out. We are all rulers of our own small empires. Our empire might be our family, our career, our personal goals, our home. We make dozens, even hundreds of decisions every day that shape our world. We are the strategists, the diplomats, and the guardians of our own lives. And just like the emperor, we carry the weight of that responsibility. We've glorified the hustle, the relentless grind, and we've stigmatized stillness. We feel guilty for taking a nap, for reading a book with no productive purpose, for simply sitting and watching the clouds go by. We've forgotten that our minds and bodies are not machines. They are organic, living things that require cycles of activity and rest to thrive. Imagine a garden. If you constantly till the soil, planting new seeds, without ever letting the earth recover, it will soon become depleted. The plants will be weak, the harvest meager. The soil needs time to rest, to replenish its nutrients, to simply be. Our minds are the same. When we are constantly bombarded with information, stress, and demands, our mental soil becomes barren. It might be a walk in nature, listening to the sound of your own footsteps on the earth. In the stillness, we can finally hear our own inner voice, the one that gets drowned out by the noise of everyday life. This is the voice of our intuition, our true self. It's the voice that knows what we really need, what truly matters to us. When we ignore it for too long, we lose our way. We start chasing goals that don't fulfill us, living a life that feels like it belongs to someone else. Rest is the way back to ourselves. It is the compass that reorients us toward our true north. It starts small. It starts with giving yourself permission to not be productive for 10 minutes, permission to say no to a request that will drain you, permission to choose a quiet evening at home over a loud social event. It's about creating your own sanctuary, just like the emperor's chamber. It doesn't have to be a physical room. Your sanctuary might be a corner of your home with a comfortable chair and a good book. It might be a park bench on your lunch break. It might be the 5 minutes in your car after you've parked before you go inside, where you just sit in silence. For others, it's the joyful noise of family and friends. There is no one-size-fits-all solution for rest. The key is to listen to what your body and mind are telling you. Are you feeling irritable and overwhelmed? That's a signal. Are you feeling uninspired and numb? That's a signal. These aren't signs of failure. They are invitations to rest. Let go of the guilt. Remind yourself that by resting, you are not being lazy. You are refueling. You are sharpening your tools. You are investing in your long-term well-being and effectiveness. A rested you is a more patient parent, a more compassionate friend, a more creative employee, a more resilient human being. The problems that seemed insurmountable the day before might now have obvious solutions. The stress that felt crushing might now feel manageable. The world will always be there, with its demands and its noise. The battles will wait. Tonight, let yourself be the man in the chamber, not the emperor on the throne. Pull the silk curtains closed, light the soft lamps, let the moonlight in. Allow yourself the profound and powerful gift of rest. You are the ruler of your own world, and the wisest rulers know that true strength is found not in constant struggle, but in serene stillness. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more moments of reflection and calm. Take care of yourself, and remember to rest. Have you ever truly listened to the desert at night? I mean, really listened. When the sun finally dips below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery oranges and deep purples, a whole new world awakens. The silence isn't empty. It's filled with a language all its own. For the first few moments, all you hear is the soft whisper of the wind. It's a sound that's been shaping this landscape for millennia, a gentle artist sculpting the dunes grain by grain. It flows over the crests, a constant, soothing sigh that seems to carry the secrets of the ages. It's the desert's first word of the evening, a greeting to the coming darkness. Then, as your ears adjust, other voices emerge. A sudden, high-pitched cry pierces the quiet. It's a jackal calling out to its pack, its voice echoing across the vast open space. Another answers from a distant dune, a conversation held in the dark. These aren't sounds of fear. They're the sounds of life, of a community thriving in a place many would call desolate. It's a reminder that even here, in this immense emptiness, no one is truly alone. As the last light fades, the celestial show begins. The stars ignite, not one by one, but all at once, a sudden explosion of light against a velvet black canvas. Out here, with no city glow to dim their brilliance, they blaze with an intensity that feels almost close enough to touch. The Milky Way isn't a faint smudge. It's a brilliant, shimmering river flowing across the heavens. Looking up, you feel a profound sense of peace. The scale of it all, the endless dunes under the infinite stars, makes your own worries feel so small, so distant. Imagine a caravan, centuries ago, making its way across this very same sand. You can almost see the faint glow of their distant campfire, a small spark of human warmth in the cool desert night. You can hear the low murmur of their voices, the gentle rustle of their camels settling down for the night. There's a timelessness to this scene, a connection to every traveler who has ever sought refuge in the desert's quiet embrace. This isn't just silence, it's a symphony of peace, a deep, resonant hum that quiets the mind and soothes the soul. The desert at night doesn't just speak, it sings a lullaby to the world, a song of wind, stars, and ancient, enduring life. And as the night deepens, you begin to notice the smaller, more intimate sounds. The faint skittering of a desert beetle making its way across a patch of hardened sand. The almost inaudible rustle of a fennec fox, its large ears twitching, catching every tiny vibration. Each sound is a brushstroke on this vast canvas of quiet. It's a world that demands patience. You can't rush the desert. You have to let it reveal itself to you. You sit, you breathe, and you listen. The cool air feels crisp against your skin, a welcome relief after the day's oppressive heat. The scent of the sand, a dry, earthy perfume, fills your lungs. It's a smell that speaks of permanence, of a land that has endured, unchanged, for eons. This is a meditative experience, a chance to disconnect from the noise of the modern world and reconnect with something more fundamental, more real. The desert night asks for nothing but your presence, and in return, it offers a clarity that is hard to find anywhere else. It's a place where you can hear your own thoughts, where the static of daily life fades away, leaving only the pure, simple truth of the present moment. Think about the life that shelters here, hidden during the day. Snakes, scorpions, geckos, they all wait for the cover of darkness to hunt and to live. Their movements are a part of the desert's nocturnal rhythm. A slight shift in the sand, a barely perceptible slither, is a sign of this hidden kingdom. It's a world of survival, yes, but also a world of incredible adaptation and beauty. These creatures are perfectly designed for this environment, masters of their domain. Seeing a horned viper leave a delicate, winding track in the sand is like seeing a piece of calligraphy written by nature itself. Every detail tells a story. It's an immersive artwork, and you are standing right in the middle of it. The sense of wonder it inspires is overwhelming. It's easy to feel like an explorer, discovering a new planet, even though you're standing firmly on this one. The desert at night has a way of reawakening that childlike curiosity, that desire to understand the world around you. As the hours pass, a deep sense of calm settles over you. The initial excitement of the starlit sky gives way to a quiet contentment. You become part of the landscape. The wind feels less like a separate entity and more like your own breath, moving in and out in a slow, steady rhythm. It's a paradox. In the immense space of the desert, you find a connection to everything. You realize that the universe isn't just out there among the stars. It's right here, in the sand, in the air, and within you. This is the magic of the desert night. It strips away the non-essential and leaves you with a profound sense of your place in the cosmos. And when you finally lie back on the cool sand, the universe feels like a blanket. The stars are no longer just distant points of light. They are companions. You can trace the constellations your ancestors named, telling stories of gods and heroes written in the sky. You might even be lucky enough to see a shooting star, a fleeting streak of brilliance that makes you hold your breath. Each one feels like a personal secret shared between you and the night. It's in these moments of pure, unadulterated awe that you understand the true power of nature. It's not just beautiful, it's healing. It's a reminder that there is a rhythm to the universe that is far older and wiser than our own fleeting concerns. The desert night teaches humility, patience, and a deep appreciation for the quiet moments in life. It shows you that sometimes the most profound experiences are the ones that happen in silence, under a canopy of a million stars. It's an experience that stays with you, a memory of peace that you can call upon long after you've left the dunes behind. The desert's voice, once you've heard it, never truly leaves you. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the night. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing for more quiet adventures. Have you ever gazed up at the night sky and felt a sense of wonder, a connection to something ancient and profound? Imagine a time when the darkness wasn't something to be feared, but a sacred bridge. For the ancient Egyptians, the coming of night was not an ending, but a beginning. It was a time when the veil between worlds grew thin, a time when the living could commune with the spirits of those who had passed into the afterlife. As the sun god Ra completed his journey across the sky and descended below the western horizon, the world of mortals and the realm of the gods would draw near. This wasn't a time of spooky ghosts or restless spirits. It was a period of deep spiritual significance, a quiet, holy time. The Egyptians believed that the souls of the departed, known as the Ak, would ascend to the heavens to become the imperishable stars, forever watching over their descendants on earth. Every twinkle in the vast, inky expanse was a loved one, a pharaoh, an ancestor, their spirit eternal. The night was a celestial map of their history, their family, their legacy, and dreams. They weren't just random thoughts. They were messages, divine whispers from the gods, or visitations from ancestors offering guidance, comfort, or warnings from the Duat, the mysterious underworld. The moon, a silver disk sailing through the darkness, was the eye of the god Horus, or the celestial bark of the moon god Khonsu, a protector of travelers in the night. In the stillness, you could almost hear the soft, rhythmic chanting echoing from temple walls. Priests and priestesses performing sacred rituals to ensure the sun would rise again, to protect the world from the chaos that lurked in the deep darkness, and to honor the delicate balance between life and death. This was the Egyptian night, a world alive with gods, stars, and souls, a time for introspection and connection. Let's journey back together into the heart of this mystical night along the Nile. As the last rays of sunlight fade, painting the desert sands in hues of orange and purple, a profound stillness descends. The bustling energy of the day gives way to a serene, contemplative quiet. The air grows cooler, carrying the scent of lotus blossoms from the riverbanks. This is the moment of transition, the sacred twilight, when the god Ra, in his solar bark, enters the gates of the Duat. His journey through the 12 hours of the night is fraught with peril, a cosmic battle against the serpent of chaos, Apep. The prayers of the people on earth were believed to give Ra the strength he needed to vanquish the darkness and be reborn with the dawn. The Egyptians had an intricate understanding of the cosmos. Their temples were not just places of worship, they were astronomical observatories, aligned with celestial events. The priests, who were also skilled astronomers, would track the movements of the stars and planets, which they saw as manifestations of the gods themselves. The constellation we know as Orion was Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and the bright star, Sirius, or Sopdet to the Egyptians, heralded the annual flooding of the Nile, the lifeblood of their civilization. Its appearance in the night sky was a time of great celebration, a promise of fertility and renewal. The night sky was their calendar, their compass, and their sacred book, written in letters of starlight. Now, let's talk about the moon. Its gentle, silvery light was a source of comfort and mystery. It was associated with the god Thoth, the patron of knowledge, writing, and magic, who was said to record the deeds of mortals. But it was also linked to Khonsu, the traveler, a benevolent deity who protected people from the dangers of the night. The phases of the moon symbolized the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, a constant reminder of the eternal rhythm of the universe. In the temples of Khonsu at Karnak, nightly rites were performed to ensure his journey across the sky was safe, protecting the world below. The moonlight, casting long shadows across the temple courtyards and illuminating the hieroglyphs on the walls, would have created an atmosphere of pure magic and devotion. Perhaps one of the most intimate connections to the night for the ancient Egyptians was through their dreams. They believed the soul, or Ba, could leave the sleeping body and travel to the realm of the gods, or the underworld. Dreams were a direct line of communication with the divine. A dream of a loved one who had passed on was a real visit, a moment of reunion. They even had dream interpreters, wise men and women, who would help decipher the symbolic language of these nocturnal visions. Certain temples were known as places of dream incubation, where people would go to sleep in a sacred space, hoping to receive a divine message or a cure for an illness in their dreams. Imagine sleeping on the cool stone floor of a temple, the air thick with incense, praying for a sign from the gods as you drifted into slumber. The underworld, the Duat, was a central character in the story of the night. It wasn't a place of punishment like the hell of other cultures, but a complex, multifaceted realm that the soul had to navigate to reach the paradise of the field of reeds. The journey was filled with trials and judgments, guarded by fearsome deities and mythical creatures. The Book of the Dead, a collection of spells and incantations, was a guide for the deceased, a magical map to help them overcome these obstacles. The night was the time when this journey unfolded, when the living prayed for the success of their departed loved ones, sending their spiritual energy to aid them on their path. They would light small oil lamps, their flickering flames like tiny stars on earth, symbolizing hope and guidance in the darkness of the Duat. This spiritual landscape of the night was woven into every aspect of Egyptian life. Amulets in the shape of the crescent moon were worn for protection. Spells were recited before sleep to ward off nightmares and invite prophetic dreams. The architecture of their tombs was designed to align with the stars, ensuring the soul's successful ascent to the heavens. The night was not an empty void. It was filled with presence, with power, and with the promise of eternity. It was a time when the physical and the spiritual worlds were not separate but intertwined, dancing together in the soft moonlight to the silent music of the cosmos. As we stand here now, under our own modern night sky, maybe we can borrow a little of that ancient Egyptian wisdom. The next time you look up at the moon or see a shooting star, think of it not just as a celestial body, but as part of a story that has been told for thousands of years. A story of connection, of eternity, and of the sacred, beautiful darkness that holds us all. The universe is just as full of wonder now as it was then. The stars are still shining, the moon is still watching over us, and the night still holds its quiet magic if we only take a moment to listen. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the Egyptian night. If you enjoyed this exploration, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more journeys into the ancient world. Let me know in the comments what you find most fascinating about ancient Egypt. Until next time, stay curious.